Welcome back to our Nashville Number System video series. I'm having such a great time sharing all of this information with you. I think mostly because it was so exciting for me as I was figuring a lot of this stuff out and starting to absorb all of it. And so I realized how much it helped me, and I just, I'm excited for you all to learn it. And to that end, I wanted to tell you too that, I've made a living as a bluegrass fiddler. I've made a living as a country fiddler. I've done a lot of things. I've played in, church bands and all that kind of thing. I've played lots of different, American traditional music styles. And the stuff that I'm working with you on in terms of this Nashville number system really does translate into all of those styles. And some of the choices and the stylistic things that I'm doing are geared more toward bluegrass, in this series, but actually the concepts and the fundamentals behind it are really universal, and especially crossing over into like classic country, things like that. Your Ray Prices and your George Jones and your Merle Haggard songs, all of those, your Tammy Wynette's and your, all of that. And, so like if we're doing something like a first finger anchor thing, and we're doing Your Love Is Like a Flower, we could do... And look at that. I just did what we call a turnaround, which we use to kick off a country song. In country songs, we don't use usually a full 8-bar kickoff like we do in bluegrass, but the principles are still the same. I still used exactly the same double stops. We call that a 15-11 in the business. That's a 1-5-1-1 turnaround. And we can get into country music down the road, but I just wanted to let you know that these principles apply to all of this sort of interrelated music. You may think, oh, bluegrass is this whole other thing and country is this whole other thing. Absolutely not. They have more that unite them than divide them. So anything that you're learning here, if you show up at a jam and it kind of leans more country, still use all this same stuff, and you'll be perfectly fine. So in this video, I want to show you 2 more double stop patterns that you can use. And one is kind of a movable pattern. And then one is something that I want to show you as kind of a fallback for first position. And it just, again, the whole secret point of this video series is to get you thinking about the fiddle in a different way than you were trained to do before. To just kind of shift your whole way of thinking and say to yourself, oh my God, this is patterns and positions, and I don't have to worry about the theory, and I don't have to worry about what, flats, how many flats and how many sharps. If I can get you to the point where you don't ask how many flats and how many sharps are in a key, maybe ever again, I will have done my job here. So let me show you this new pattern that we're going to do. Now, I use this pattern mostly in first position, but it is entirely movable, so you can go up and down the neck with it, do whatever you want. But I use it more for backup and chopping than I do to base solos off of. It doesn't lend itself for solos quite as much, but I use it for backup and chopping a ton. And it works really well for some of the keys where the first finger pattern requires you to go up into third position and you think, boy, this feels a little excessive. This would be the pattern to use. I use it for G, C, and D, those keys. So let me show you the pattern. We're going to start out with the third finger is the note of the key we are in. Okay, so that's crucial right off the bat. We need to know what our anchor note is. Our root note, is that third finger. So we're going to start with the key of G. We're going to add a first finger on the higher string. So D3, A1. And that's our 1 chord. And just a quick reminder, on our Nashville number system, remember that we're talking about chords based on degrees of the scale with numbers instead of letters, right? So we're in the key of G, so G is 1, A is 2, B, C, up the scale like that. And remember that our 3 most common chords in traditional music are 1, 4, and 5. So I'm showing you, when I show you these double stop patterns, I'm showing you chord double stops for 1, 4, and 5, because that covers the majority of what we're gonna need to deal with in our bluegrass and country and all that kind of thing. All right, so we've got our 1 chord. Now, all I need you to do is take that low 2nd finger, just put it right on top, just above the 1st finger, and play those same 2 strings. There's our 4 chord. Okay, so 1, add 2, back to 1 now, 4 chord. You notice I kind of slid into that too. You know, a little style never hurt anybody. Okay, now our 5 chord, we're gonna take this position here where we have the 3rd finger on the D string and the 2nd finger on the A string.